We finally reached a point in music history where all the mid and late 90s kids obsessed with emo, pop punk and or alternative rock, then growing up with new wave of hip-hop brought to the mainstream by such creative minds as Kanye, for example, plus listen to a lot of indie and underground bands. All those kids, they grew up and some of them started to make their music heavily influenced by all of that. That is not necessarily about Spooky Black, aka Corbin, member Standard Collective, and a viral internet music star. There are a lot of missing pieces about his public persona. He's one of those rare to give interviews moody type of guy. But listening to this brand new record of his, I have a strong feeling that it comes from the same kind of range of influences. Teenage dark angst mixed thoroughly with the likes of modern huge artists such as James Blake, Bon Iver, maybe producers like Arca, and or Archie Marshall. A lot of people come to mind. Altogether, to me, Mourn sounds quite original and fresh. Still with a back thought of, oh, I've heard something similar somewhere some time ago. I've missed this kind of sound. I've missed this kind of funeral level tragedy in music albums. The title fits perfectly as a description of the whole thing, though it's a little bit hard to understand what Corbin exactly mourns about. At times it feels like about everything. Most lyrics on the album and the way he uses his voice, it all goes deep, dark, and somber. As black to the point where it could get uncomfortable and unhealthy. Listening to it, it's very graphic. Rape, abuse, violence, self-harm, killing, suicide, death. If you're a bit sensitive and not really ready for that kind of narrative, then listening to it on repeat is probably not a good idea. This is musical depression, and I'm convinced that it could put you in quite a dark place, as well as ease your pain and bring you to the light. Two negatives makes a positive, you know. Talking Corbin's vocal abilities on Mourn, I'm really impressed. I don't remember being that impressed about previous Spooky Black stuff. On this new record, he sounds absolutely broken and hopeless. He doesn't just sing this story, he screams it, he cries it, he breaks down and he rages. From the modern day vocalists, it reminded me a bit of Alice Bender-Ronenfeld from Ice Age Marching Church. Those vocals aren't meant to be pretty and or melodic. These are pure post-punk and, if you like, emo tools. Just another powerful instrument to make a track, to make you feel a certain way. And Corbin in this project does it brilliantly. Just now, if you want to skip the track because you can't stand the emotional level, the tragedy, the suffering in his voice, then probably everything works just fine. Y'all know I'm a production stan and I like some dark sounding shit. I like Shlomo a lot, as well as the whole We Did It collective. Him and Jam from We Did It are the main beings behind all the instrumentals on this album, and yeah, I love it. I've listened to the full instrumental version of Mourn any day, on repeat. It'd be easier emotionally too, minus all the fucked up things Corbin brings out. The soundscape on there is very northy, ice cold, dim, but still pulsing with some energy. I think the sound, those kind of instrumentals, and overall the sound of Corbin reminds me of Lust for Youth, especially the Breakout album. Mourn as well could sound even a bit like that limbo state. It's not as minimal, but it made me feel like that's how Vacuum could possibly sound like. It rarely goes to any major beats or drops, and when it does, it's not breaking the dark tone. The title track, one of my favorite tracks on the whole project, has this hushed trap beat and a very sad keyboard line, which along with more abstract lyrics makes it probably the most accessible track on the album. As well as Ice Boy, the great opener, all the synths and all the drum patterns contrast Corbin's aching odd perfectly. I like No Title track with its appearing guitar tone. All Out, perhaps the most Lust for Youthy sounding one. The trippy, maybe rave-inspired closer track, Dragged. And the brilliance behind Revenge Song. It's an extra dark one. But the instrumental kind of keeps it from completely losing it. It feels louder too, or kind of afar from Corbin himself. Maybe besides the normalizing effect, there's a bit of a bringing you back to reality one. I would say it's helpful. Mourn is a beautiful example of dark avant-garde modern music. It clicks with people, maybe because we tend to choose tragedy, or we like to take the voyeuristic role and explore people's most dark, most personal and intimate truth, or maybe because we want to dive deep into the cold season, and this album works as a perfect soundtrack to that. But important in the end is that Corbin provides a music project fitting for all of that, and I really want to thank him for doing this, because I really did miss that kind of sound. Yeah, I guess that's all the thoughts I have about Mourn. What do you think about this album? Do you like it? Is it too twisted for you? What do you think about Spooky Black? What do you think about Standard? I really want to hear more from Standard in the future. I really think they should step up their game, especially with the rise of all the collectives and all the bands. I think it could be interesting to see, especially after this kind of album. I'm just very hopeful now and excited about what they might release in the future. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Also, don't forget to like this video, to share this video, to subscribe to our channel to see more. Follow us on social media everywhere. Let's discuss music. Let's talk great artists. Don't get lost in some fucked up narrative. Be relaxed, be calm, stay cool. Peace off.